From Hollywood in color, it's The Parent Game. And now, here's your host and star of The Parent Game, Chuck Barris.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome to The Parent Game. You know, if I were to prepare a recipe for the perfect parrot, I'd mix a heaping tablespoon of patience along with a full cup of understanding, then toss in a pinch of humor and a big measure of good old-fashioned common sense. So let's meet today's Parent Game couples right now and see how they measure up to those ingredients. Couple number one. They have 2 children, one 5 years old, the other 10 months, and they wish they could claim their babysitters as a tax deduction. Here are Roger and Jeannie Sternett. Couple number 2. They have a 4-month-old son, and they say they want to take good care of their child now so that maybe their child will take good care of them later. Let's meet Wendell and Vivian Williams. Couple number 3. They should know what they're talking about when they say that child raising is a big job because they've already raised 5, who are now between 18 and 36. Here are Emil and Martha Fuller. Those are our couples for today. All right, couples, I'll be asking you questions of increasing point value, and a bonus question is worth 30 points. You'll be matching your ideas on raising a family with our expert in child psychology. All 6 of you will have a chance to give your own individual answer to each question. And when your answer agrees with the experts, you'll score points for your team. And the couple scoring the most points at the end of our game will win an exciting grand prize. Oh, and remember this, these questions are not meant to be an official guidebook on child raising, but are designed more for fun and entertainment. So if you're ready at home, parents, if you're ready, let's get started. Here's your first question, and it's worth 5 points. Cousin Johnny, age 7, is spending the night at your house, and your 6-year-old daughter and Johnny insist on taking a bath together. What should mother tell them? No, hop right in, only in your swimsuits, or the tub's too small. So you have Johnny, age 7, wants to take a bath with your 6-year-old daughter together. What should mother tell them? Roger?
Well, first thing I say, well, our tub is pretty small, but there can always make room.
Small.
And my daughter loves to go swimming, but I don't think she'd want to go in the tub with a swimming suit on. I think just tell them to hop right in. I think they'd have a good time together.
Roger says hop right in.
Hop right in.
All right. Jeannie, what would you say?
Well, I wouldn't say no, because that's kind of silly, because they just asked me why, and I'd have to go into the facts of life, which I don't know how to explain anyway, and it's too young for them to learn. Hopefully, they won't know. And only in your swimsuits is no good, because what's the point of giving them a bath if they're in their swimsuits? Because they're dirty, well, from there to there.
I know what you mean. It's all right.
Yeah, girls don't have too much showing when they got their swimsuit on. Okay, and the tub's too small. All tubs are the same size unless I use a wash basin.
What is it, Jeannie?
And
what would you do?
I would say hop right in, enjoy yourself.
Jeannie would say hop right in and join them. Wendell, what do you think mother should do?
I think mothers should let them do exactly what they want to do. They're boys and girls together.
Oh,
they're at the
honey,
learning
no, I
age.
disagree because...
let them hop right in.
No, I don't think they should because they're too young. At 3 and 4 years of age, a child, it's okay to display sex to each other. But I
What
think...
is sex? It's 7 years old and
It's
6
quite
years
a bit.
old.
It can mean quite a bit to them.
All right, Wendell says go ahead and hop in. Is that what you say, Wendell?
Yes, sir.
All right, Vivian?
Only in their swimsuits.
Vivian says only in their swimsuits can they hop in.
Right.
All right, we have a couple of disagreeing couples already. Emil?
Well, what kind of tub we have? A small tub, big tub, or wash tub, or what kind of tub?
Emil, I want to tell you, they just want to take a bath together, and I don't know the size of the tub.
In the first place, at that age in life, they don't understand what sex is, and in the meantime, the boy's got to grow up. He's going to do a little peeking, so is the girl going to do a little peeking here and there. If they got...
All right, Emil, what do you think mother should do?
If they got their bathing suits on, hop right in.
All right, Emil says hop right in. Martha? Do you agree with your husband?
The tub's too small.
Listen. You got some fetching up. Come on.
Yes.
All right, Martha would tell them.
The tub is too small.
Martha would tell them the tub is too small.
You bet
All
you
right.
do.
Most of our parents say hop right in. Not one of you had said no. What do you think at home? Let's find out what our expert says.
I'm a bad mother.
Swimsuits only call attention to the obvious. Our expert feels that co-ed bathing is all right up to the age of 4.
Oh.
So the answer is, tell them no.
Oh.
That's what our expert says. I'm sorry you all missed that one. But here's another five-point question. 21-year-old Bob lives at home. 21-year-old Bob lives at home. One night he tells Mom and Dad he wants to use the house to entertain a lady. Should Mom and Dad go to the movies, give him one room, tell him to go somewhere else, or make it a foursome? 21-year-old Bob wants to use the house to entertain a lady. Wendell, what should Mom and Dad do?
Respect his judgment. I think he can entertain her in a proper manner at age 21. I would go to the movies.
Honey, no, I wouldn't, because I would make it a foursome. You can be in the house with them. You don't have to be in the same room.
Wendell would go to the movies. Is that what you do? All right, Wendell. Vivian?
No, I would say make it a foursome. I mean, you don't have to be in the same room with them. You can be in a different part of the house, but I'd be there.
All right. Vivian would make it a foursome. Abel?
I'd tell him, I say, Bub, if you're old enough to date somebody, then you're old enough to make your own way. Let's pay it. I'm not going to furnish you any longer. The mamas might say yes. I'd say, no, now, wait a minute, son. Let's make this a foursome. Because if you can be in the same house but not in the same room, you don't have to. But if you tell him go somewhere else, he got other ideas in his mind.
All right, Emil, then you actually agree with Vivian. You say make it a foursome.
Make it a foursome.
All right, Martha?
I think it would be fun to make it a foursome. I think it would be great.
All right. Martha agrees with Emil. Make it a foursome. They are agreeing. Roger?
Well, I don't know if I would want to make it a foursome, because I can think back when I was 21, and I don't know if I was really that crazy about making it a foursome with my parents then either.
You're not kidding.
And give them one room. Well, I guess it depends on what room they want. So I think probably we're good. I think at the age of 21, he probably has enough good sense to know what he should do, and whether he's home or not, he's going to do what he knows is best. I think we just go to the movies.
All right. Roger would go to the movies. Jeannie?
My turn, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd make it a foursome. I don't know. We've done it enough if we've been married that long, so who needs to make it a foursome? To be honest with you, I wouldn't go to the movies. Nope. And give him one room's kind of silly. But if he's as cheap as his father, he'd ask to do it at home because he wouldn't want to spend any money. And darn if I'm going to let him get away with it. I tell him to go somewhere else and spend it.
All right. Jeannie says, tell him to go somewhere else. Most of you has said make it a foursome. Go somewhere else. Go to the movies received a couple of votes. What do you think at home? Let's find out what our expert says. Mom and Dad, here's a good chance for the two of you to trust your son and have some fun of your own. Our expert says Bob is 21 and deserves his privacy. The answer is go to the movies. Hey. Roger and Jeannie, Wendell and Vivian have scored 5 points apiece. It'll be 10-point question time right after this message. In a moment, we'll have a 10-point question, but first, Charlie O'Donnell would like to have a word with our couples about their special gifts. Charlie?
Thanks, Clark. Each of today's couples will have music wherever they go with their RCA portable stereos, featuring top-quality sound in an easy-to-carry unit. Now back to Clark Race and our parent game couples.
Okay, and here we go. Remember, this is a 10-point question. This is a 10-point question. Your 13-year-old daughter is off to the beach, and you notice that the top of her bikini has been obviously padded. Should you pretend you didn't notice, try to talk her out of it, tell her the padding stays home, or have Mom show her some exercises? 13-year-old daughter is off to the beach, and the top of her bikini has been padded. Emil, what should you do?
Well, I tell you. You can tell her it's padded or not been padded, and when she gets away from the house, she's going to do like she wants to do anyway. And if you talk her out of it, she's rebellious, just like anyone else would be, like you or I. And if you pretend you don't notice, she thinks she's sneaking by with something. I'd have Mom to show a little bit of exercise sometime.
Emil would have fun mother show her some exercises. Mother, what would you do?
Well, I think that that's expected of a 13-year-old, and I just pretend that I didn't notice.
All right. Martha would pretend she didn't notice. Roger?
Well, you have to show her some exercises, but I think maybe by explaining to her that eventually she will develop like any other young lady. At 13 probably is a little young to wear padding. But I don't think I'd just tell her the padding stay at home. I think I'd talk her out of it, and if she agreed, fine. If she didn't, she wouldn't.
But
I would try to talk her out of it.
You would try to talk her out of it?
I'd try to talk her out of it.
Roger's going to talk her out of it, Jeannie?
I'll let him worry about her. To tell her the padding stays home's kind of silly. That's true, because they use Kleenex anything. I mean, big deal. They have their ways. Okay, pretend you don't notice. I don't know if that would really work because it's so obvious. I mean, you know whether your daughter's got it or not, and if she walks out getting it, it's going to look a little queer. I'd tell her, pat it now. I'd say have Mother show her some exercise because Mother needs it too.
All right. Jeannie says have a mother show her some exercises. Wendell.
I don't think I'd talk her out of it. I don't think I would talk her out of it, and I don't know, I wouldn't have her leave at home either. To pretend that you don't notice, she might go ahead and try to overdo it and say, well, she didn't notice this, she will notice this, and put an extra set on a padding. But I believe that Mom should show her some exercises.
No, honey, I don't think so, because...
Wendell would have Mother show her some exercises.
No, I don't think at that age, exercise might not really have too much to do with it.
It didn't
it just may take some time for that to develop. But I think that if you just pretend you didn't notice it, because you might hurt her feelings if you go out and say, well, your bra's padded and you just take that out. Or you know, if you just say that stays home, I think I would just let it go unnoticed.
No, be constructive. Give her some exercise.
Well, exercises, I mean, what's muscle got to do with it? I mean, I don't think
All
that
right,
at
Vivian,
that age,
what would you do?
I would just pretend I didn't notice
Vivian
it.
would pretend that she didn't notice. Not one of you have said, let the padding stay. What have you said at home? Here's what our expert says. According to our psychologist, if your 13-year-old daughter wants to pad her bikini, she'll probably do it, whether you approve or not. So, parents, don't fight the battle of the bulge. The answer is, pretend you didn't notice. Wendell and Vivian Williams now taking the lead. We'll be right back with more of the Parent Game and our big bonus question right after this message. And welcome back. Here we go with a 15-point question. You've invited the boss to dinner, and when he arrives, your 4-year-old son, Richard, answers the door and shouts, Daddy, Fatso's here. What should Dad do? Ask Richard to apologize, hand the boss an hors d'oeuvre, spank Richard for being rude, or explain, he calls everybody Fatso. Roger, your boss comes to dinner and your 4-year-old son, Richard, says, Daddy, Fatso's here. Roger, what would you do?
Well, if he's really that fat, maybe I ought to hand him an hors d'oeuvre, because he probably needs it. But just to tell him that calls everybody fat, it probably wouldn't work either. And I think at 4 years old, maybe Richard needs to be taught that that's not the right thing to do. So I'd probably ask him to apologize and then spank him later.
Roger?
Nasty.
I think I'd just spank him.
Oh, you're nasty,
All right,
Father.
Roger says spank Richard for being rude. And I know you're going to agree.
Oh, he's nasty.
Boy, am I
Yes, he's nasty, yes. It's silly to tell him he calls everybody fatso because I don't think the boss would believe him anyway. And if he is fat, that's just kind of making things worse because he wouldn't really believe you. And ask Richard to apologize. I don't think that would, that's kind of hopeless at that point. That's kind of silly. And let's see. I think I'd have the boss an hors d'oeuvre because I cook well and I want to show him. I'd get his mind onto food where it belongs anyway. And maybe he'll forget everything that my son did.
All right.
I hope he doesn't get fired.
Jeannie would hand the boss an hors d'oeuvre.
The boss is...
Wendell?
I wouldn't say he calls everybody a fatso because that would make the parent look like, well, you haven't told him about any manners.
Honey, I disagree.
Or anything.
No, I disagree. I think that I would tell him that he calls everybody fatso because if you told Richard to apologize, the boss would think, aha, that's where he got it from. They're trying to make him apologize and they've been calling me fatso here at home.
No, I would ask him to apologize.
And I wouldn't hand the boss an hors d'oeuvre because that'd make him feel bad. And I wouldn't spank Richard because that just show all the more that you told Richard to say it. So I just made like a big joke like he calls everybody fatso.
Well, now that we've heard you, Vivian,
like I was saying, what was I saying? At any rate, I think Richard should apologize. Be a man and apologize.
I disagree.
Wendell says ask Richard to apologize.
Make him apologize later, but not, I mean, you know, I talked to him about it, but I wouldn't make him apologize there in front of the boss. Because that just showed the boss that you had told him to say those things. Dad probably going to say, that old fat boss.
Who would he apologize to?
Well, no, I just explained to Richard later that you just don't call people fat after the boss was gone.
Amen.
Vivian, I want to get your answer.
I explained that he calls everybody fatso.
Vivian says explain that he calls everybody fatso. Emil.
Well, if the boss be fat or poor or slim or tall, don't make no difference. Junior goes around hollering fatso, maybe that's the only word he knows. And if he calls himself fatso and me fatso and her fatso, if you ask him to apologize, what's the point in that? Because he might say, apologize for what? He doesn't know what you mean apologize for. Do you, what yes? No? No? Yeah?
Well, I don't think he should have to.
No, he don't need to apologize. You explain to him that he calls everybody fatso. That's the only word the kid knows.
That's right, but I want to tell you why.
Why?
I want to know why.
But for the simple reason that, you know, just tell the boss, well, he calls everybody fatso. Then after the boss is gone, you talk to that boy and tell him that was rude. And the next time the boss comes,
call him fatso so he wouldn't come back no more.
Well, tell a boy that you made a mistake, but you just explain and tell the boss he calls everybody fatso. No,
I called him fatso.
And I think he's supposed to explain. He calls everybody fatso.
The boss fatso's coming to dinner, so what?
That's all right. If you did that, you did it wrong. But I still say to explain to the boss, he calls everybody fatso, and then you can correct him later.
Wait now.
Junior looks up at you.
Emil, your answer was explain that he calls everybody fatso. Martha, you agree with him.
I sure do,
but for different reasons. But you both do agree on he calls everybody fatso. Okay. What would you say at home? Here's what our psychologist says. The important thing here is that little Richard was undoubtedly repeating something he heard Dad say. Therefore, our psychologist says that Dad can only hope the boss has a sense of humor. So the answer is, hand the boss an hors d'oeuvre. And Roger and Jeannie Sternick now with 20 points. And now, it's time for your 30-point bonus question. Each team will have 30 seconds to discuss the question out loud, and at the end of that time, come up with just one answer between them. And please hold your discussions until I call on you. That's very important. Now, here's that big bonus question. When should a 2-year-old be allowed to suck his thumb? Never, anytime he wants, only when he's upset, or just before he falls asleep. When should a 2-year-old be allowed to suck his thumb? Roger and Jeannie Sternick, you're in the lead. We'll give you 30 seconds for open discussion and then one answer between you.
I think anytime he wants, because otherwise you'll just get him more upset and everything, and he's too young then to really know that he shouldn't do it.
Probably just before he falls asleep.
But that's silly because he doesn't know it himself, and you're just going to get him frustrated. And every child has to do something, and it's only human nature that you do something like that. You can't stop a child.
You convinced me.
You're not going to say anything? All right.
At 2 years old,
it should be.
Probably just any time he wants. I think he's got time to learn.
He's
later
too
on.
young yet, and you'll just frustrate him.
I think probably any time.
Roger and Jeannie Sternick say anytime he wants.
We've been wrong, so we may as well be wrong again. Yeah.
Vivian
Anytime he wants.
and Wendell, you'll have 30 seconds to open discussion, and then one answer between you.
I think it's any time he wants, because at 2 years old, he doesn't, I mean, a thumb to him can be a pacifier, can be anything. He doesn't know the difference.
Perhaps he needs a pacifier. I don't know.
But
just before he falls asleep, I think, I don't know, that might help him go to sleep if you...
I don't think, I mean, you just can't say, don't suck your thumb all day and then suck it before you fall asleep. Because kids just don't think like that. I would say,
all right.
Anytime he wants.
We need one answer. What is it?
Anytime he wants.
Anytime he wants. Emil and Martha, full of 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Hip. He should never be allowed in the first place suck his thumb because they sell too many bottles this day and time. Why should he be sucking his thumb?
I
He might be
think,
sucking his finger.
I think he should never be allowed.
Never be, because when he's upset, he'd be upset all the time. Be a squalling or bawling, you have to spank him. No, you don't have to correct him.
I think at 2 years old, he has time to stop that.
We need that one answer. Emil
Never.
And Martha?
Never.
Emil and Martha Fuller say never. All our answers are in. We'll be right back with the correct answer and find out which couple wins our grand prize today on the Parent Game. But first, this message. Welcome back to the Parent Game. Remember, the 30-point bonus question, which could decide the grand prize winner, was: when should a 2-year-old be allowed to suck his thumb? Never, anytime he wants, only when he's upset, or just before he falls asleep. Couple number 1, Roger and Jeannie Sterneck, said anytime he wants. Couple number 2, Wendell and Vivian Williams, said anytime he wants. Couple number 3, Emil and Martha Fuller, said never. Now, for 30 points, let's see what our expert says. Thumb sucking has been known to do everything from upsetting parents to calming down baby. If prolonged, it could lead to new problems. Our expert says a 2-year-old has a particular need that must be satisfied. The answer is anytime he wants to. And that means couple number 1, Roger and Jeannie Sterneck, are our grand prize winners for today. And your grand prize will be appreciated by everyone in the family. Jeannie thinks it'll be a lot easier and more fun for you from now on. And Roger, in the future, you'll be excused from certain afternoon chores you don't relish. And your girls, Robin and Lori, will have a bright, shiny new place to raid because you've just won a brand new refrigerator, freezer, a portable electric dishwasher, and a matching gas range.
Right, Roger and Jeannie, there is something for everyone, starting with the sensational new side-by-side combination tap and refrigerator freezer with its many fine features. Then you'll find there's a real work saver in this portable KitchenAid dishwasher. It'll save you hours of tiresome dishwashing every day. And here's the Tap and Renaissance 2 gas range loaded with modern conveniences to make cooking a real pleasure. They're all yours as today's winners of the Parent Game.
That's it for today. Be sure to be with us at the Parent Game. This is Clark Ray saying it's nice to know so many nice people. Goodbye.
If you like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more. And check out my Facebook page for other exciting content.